Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 16. Alright, and since I took that little tumble, it's been a few days and I've been trying to finish the roof in paint because I have gutters guy coming in to do the gutters on the house, and he can't do it until I actually finish the roof. And then once the gutters are installed, then I'm going to call inspection. They're going to come out, inspect the roof, the repairs that I did, and then I'm going to call my roofer guy and he's going to come out and pretty much lay down new shingles on the roof. So that tumble really slowed me down and I could barely walk. I'm basically in limp mode. I got a fracture on my wrist, so I'm gonna get I don't know if I'm gonna get a cast or just a brace. Alright, so now what I have to do is finish the brake line from here to this side. Once that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and paint the calipers. We're gonna paint them red, and it's gonna pop out a lot and it's gonna look a lot nicer in this pretty much nicely painted black wheel well, so that's gonna look a lot better. Also, I picked up some wheel spinners because these wheels did not come with the spinners. Obviously somebody either stole them or never installed them, so I picked up some kind of universal spinners that I found on eBay, and these will fit on here and it's gonna look a lot nicer. And I couldn't find any metal ones. How you doing, buddy? Hey, what are you doing? Having fun? That's good. Eleanor's having fun. So basically I picked up these because I couldn't find the metal ones, and obviously we needed something, so now we got something. So once we paint the calipers, we're gonna put the wheels on. I'm also gonna go ahead and change the side stripes because they're not installed that good. So we're gonna install new side stripes. We're gonna drop her down on the ground, and also I'm gonna change the oil, change the filter, change the spark plugs. Now on that transmission, when I was taking it off, installing it, it was completely dry. There was absolutely no fluid in the transmission whatsoever. So I topped that off, so that's good to go. We got some royal purple transmission fluid in there. I checked the rear end as well. The rear end was topped off and the oil was nice and clear, so somebody sometime not too long ago changed the fluid on that, so that's good. Alright guys, let's get this done. Alright, and now I finally got the brakes all connected. It was a little tough, I'm not gonna lie. It was a little bit tough trying to line it up all the way over there on the back. My wife helped me bend the line a little bit to try to match with this one. And when I was installing it, I was trying to adjust it as I went. So now it's all connected. Like I said, it's not perfect, and I could have done a little bit better if I had, both working hands, but at the moment it is what it is. So now that they're connected, now I can go ahead and actually bleed the front brakes, because I didn't do the back ones, I only did the front ones. So I'm gonna bleed the front brakes. And also what happened was when I was putting power steering fluid in here, it started leaking from this line right here, and it was dripping. Even though I tightened it, it was still leaking. So I ended up going to Napa and got a new power steering line. So it's the high pressure power steering line, so obviously, you know, even if it's leaking a little bit, it's going to leak a lot more when there's a lot more pressure. So I replaced that, connected that to the power steering, put some fluid in there. Now it's nice and good. Picked up some spark plugs, oil filter, so I'm going to do that as well right now, actually, before I do before I paint the brake calipers. And then once all of this is done, brake calipers are going to be painted. We're going to put the wheels on, and we're going to drop her on the ground. Oh, and also I was going to actually change the stripes before I drop it down, because once I drop it down, it's going to be too low. It's going to be kind of awkward. My back still hurts, so I might as well do it when it's, you know, this level, and then get that changed. Put them on straight, and then we'll drop her down. All right, and then once all of that is done, then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do how I'm going to bleed the brakes by myself. It's a pretty cool tool I picked up a few months back. It's pretty convenient. You need a compressor, but it's pretty convenient. Let's get started and get the rest of it done, and then bleed the brakes. Alright, so you guys are probably wondering why I took apart top of the engine. Well, the reason being is because when I was looking right here from this angle, over here in this spot, it seemed like there was a nice little leak that was leaking for a while. And now that I think about it, there was a nice puddle over here in this spot, and even in this spot there was like a dirty puddle, and the radiator was dry, those of you that remember. So I'm assuming it was leaking from here, it was leaking from there, and it was leaking from wherever else it was leaking. And I didn't want to pretty much get it all put together with the radiator, with the hoses and everything, and fill it all up, and then realize that it's leaking right here. If I can see that it was leaking, it's not that hard to remove the intake. It just takes a little bit of time. There's like, I think there's like 12 bolts. You just remove those, pry it up, and then obviously you want to change the gaskets. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, now let's check out the intake manifold, and this is what we have. This video is sponsored by LaCroix, sparkling water, lemon, tasting natural and healthy. Just kidding, obviously I'm not sponsored by them, but shout out to Elliot Alvis on YouTube and Instagram. He drinks this stuff. I like this stuff. He loves this stuff. Obviously I'm not promoting them, but 0 calories, 0 everything, and it's basically nice, delicious sparkling water, and it's perfect for 100-degree weather like it is right now. Check them out. If you guys never tried them, try it out. You will like it. If you're trying to get healthy, that's the way to go. So on the intake manifold, this is what we got. We got, this is where it was, I think it was leaking, and it looks like it was leaking. It just looks kind of disgusting, and that's what happens when it starts leaking. Same scenario on this side, but I think this side might have not been leaking. This side has more signs of leakage, and then this other side, maybe not. This seems okay. And I picked up the same gasket, and then I got the gasket maker, oil resistant. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the core gasket, and I'm going to use, so basically what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the core gasket, and I'm going to apply, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the core gasket, and I'm going to apply oil resistant so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use so we're going to clean that up. I'm going to clean up the valley area right here and on the engine block as well. Clean up this. I'm going to go ahead, clean up all this one, on this side. I'm going to have to use my little tool to pry this off and then clean it off, and that's going to be good. So once I get that done, I'm going to clean the block, and then I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it. I might use 4 of these because these would be good to guide the corners right here. And then once I get the intake guided on, then I'm going to replace those with these ones. Let's get started, clean up, and get this installed. All right, let's go. Alright guys, and the stripes are installed. So now that this is laid down, I squeegees the water out. It has to dry a little bit. Then I'll pull the paper out, and then I'm gonna adjust the edges. After they're dry, it's gonna stick. So, and same thing on this side. Gotta let it dry, and then I'm gonna start peeling off the paper. Now the calipers are painted. They look nice. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get them bled. I'm gonna get my little bleeder that connects to a compressor. Basically, this is the guy right here. You connect that to the caliper, and then you connect the compressor line here, and then when you press it, it starts sucking the liquid through this line, through the caliper, through the booster right there, and you get that done. Alright guys, and I think we're pretty much ready to go. We're ready to put her on the ground. Engine bay is pretty much ready to go. Got all the fluids in. Coolant is in. Brakes are bled. So all that is ready to go. Radiator installed. And I'm going to do the grill a little bit later because I still have to double check all the wiring on the front, make sure that's good. Clean up the tires. The tires are nice and shiny and clean. Clean up the wheels. Calipers look nice. Side stripes, nice and straight as an arrow. Obviously the fiberglass is not installed as straight as it should be, but at least the lines are nice and straight. And I decided to go ahead and trim them at the flares instead of going over the flares, because that kind of throws them off and gives them that weird angle on the churn, because you're looping around and you're trying to churn and it kind of throws it off. So I think this looks a lot cleaner when it actually goes into the flare, like it's hidden behind the flare instead of going over the flare. And I got the spinners installed. Wheels are cleaned up. Hey Eleanor, what's going on, buddy? They look nice. The calipers pop. Tires are cleaned. Not gonna get any better, honestly. I mean, there's some dings and scratches here and there on the wheels, but it is what it is. Yeah, with the new valve covers coming in, it's gonna look really nice. It's gonna pop a lot better. I still have to tidy up the wires, but I think it's gonna look pretty good. Now this is the brake cleaner that I used. Hey buddy, what are you doing? Bleeder that I used. I bought it on Amazon by Capri. Really good stuff. If you don't have a buddy to help you with the pedals, this is the way to go. And actually worked out pretty good. And after I used that, I actually went the old-fashioned way, just to double check, make sure there's no bubbles. And there was no bubbles whatsoever, but I just double checked because I never used the other one before. So that's good and ready to go. Well, there she is. The wheels are all bolted on. We're gonna move some stuff out of the way, and we're gonna drop her down on the ground and roll her out. Alright guys, and Betsy is, let's just say she's finished. She's on the ground, everything's put together. The only reason she's not finished is because I'm waiting for new valve covers that will be here probably in a few days. So I didn't want to run all the spark plug wires, and basically that's the only thing really left is connect the spark plug wires, and she'll be ready to fire. She still needs a good wash, so I'll take care of that later. But she turned out a lot better than what she was before. Now, as you can see, the gaps are the best they're gonna get. The stripes are straight, the badges are straight. I got the exhaust tips as center as possible, and there's always room for improvement on this car. But honestly, I don't think it's gonna get any better. Especially the nose. The nose was the hardest one to line up to make it perfect. You guys remember how it was? Maybe you don't, but if you do, there was a gap here, it was off center there, blah blah blah. So we'll go over that once I get the valve covers and run the spark plug wires. All the fluids are in, coolant is in, everything is set up and ready to go. Like I said, I'm gonna do a final video on her comparing to before and now. Once I get the valve covers, once I get everything connected as far as spark plugs go, and I get her to fire up, I'm gonna go for a drive for a little bit, make sure nothing's leaking. So far, nothing is leaking. So far, everything's good, but you never know. Once she heats up and actually goes for a drive, things might change. I'm hoping not, but if they do, we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Oh, and I got some hood pin covers that will go right here, and it's gonna clean up the hood after I wash it. I'm not gonna do it now, but after I wash her, I'll install those on there. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this was a tough project, and but on the next video, it's gonna be the final episode comparing before to after. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. If you're new, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the final one.